Welcome to another episode of the Voodoo Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Napolitano, as always, and I am joined by a very special guest today. I have Emma Von Zombie here with me. She's a haunt. Do you prefer actor or actress? I know some people are.
Either or. Scare actor, whichever. People.
Scare actor. She's a scare actor at Disturbia Haunted House. So I'll pass it over to you. Give the people a little bit of where you got your start in the haunt industry and a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah. So my name is Emma Von Zombie. I have been acting and doing makeup for the past 10 years or so. At first, I didn't know this was even a paid gig. I was like, whoa, you get paid to do this? I started back in 2013, I want to say. So it was after I just got out of high school. I was, I just really wanted to do it because I followed this girl who I went to high school with, and she always did like the little haunted houses, like that was local around my town. I was like, oh my God, you have such a cool style. So she was actually a really huge inspiration of me wanting to get into even acting in general, and then makeup came along with it. I originally went to school for medical illustration, so that's what I wanted to get into, is actually doing like the body like designs and actually figuring out like how the muscle and like the skeletal system works. So I was like, well, it's a bit of a cutthroat industry, and then I got really good with an airbrush and started really getting into that. So
Awesome. Yeah. So do you do, obviously your character, for the people who don't know, has a bunch of makeup, just like all the other actors there mostly. And you have like the teeth going and everything. So do you do all that yourself? It's kind of hard to do it. From a lot of actors that I've spoken to, it's kind of hard to work on yourself, but are you talented enough to be able to do that?
I am. The first time I ever actually got my makeup done is I was a vampire character. And it was just like the most minimal amount of makeup. It was just like the sunken in cheekbones. And then I got my first set of contacts, and I was like, whoa, I feel so cool. And like that, it's amazing like what like the smallest little details will like help you feel like such like a big part. And then it wasn't until I got to Aurora and I started in with Basement of the Dead. Um, that I actually started to integrate more of a wigs and then more like stockings. And then I started making my own costumes. Everything I saw, I was like, I can make that. If I can't make that, I'm going to figure out a way or a YouTube tutorial to figure out how to make that. So it saved me a lot of money in the long run, but then you start spending a lot of money on materials and you're like, oh, I realize why people like pay big bucks to just have it already made. So
Gotcha. So you have this character. We, of course, to go back a little bit and start off, we went to the Disturbia LeprecHaunted House, basically a
I
St.
always
Patrick's Day.
stutter before I say it too. I was like leprechaunted. It's
Yeah,
leprechaunted.
yeah. I'm Irish too, so I should be better at that. But
Same. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it was a St. Patrick's Day haunted house. Of course, the weekend of St. Patrick's Day, we were there the Saturday night, so everything was leprechaun themed. Four-leaf clovers all over the place, and not your usual typical haunted house. And I know I've said before on the podcast that I don't usually buy into the Halloween regular ones or the Christmas ones. Those are the main, times that I get out to the haunted houses itself. Year round, though, to kind of keep things going, Disturbia does this Leprechaun haunted house, and your character, we'll get into the beans in just a second, but what is that your usual character, or do you have multiple? Do you change things up depending on the holiday?
That was my first time ever being like a goblin or like gremlin type character, and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't actually for it at first, because it was something out of my zone. Um, First, I started off in my very first haunt career. It goes down the line like I was a gaudy little vampire. So just very like as cheesy as you think. That's what I was, just like blah blah, like Count Chocula. And then I really wanted to be like a Silent Hill nurse, so I designed my own costume for that. It literally was just a Spirit or Party City nurse costume that I burned up sprayed with Stone It spray, so it looked like totally unrecognizable and looked exactly like the movie, like ideal dress. Made my own mask, and then eventually I made it to being an outside actor, and I came down dressed as my clown character, which was Zoe, that I got into integrated with, and I was a clown for like I want to say a good 6 years. So then I just did different themes of that clown for every single event that we would do off season.
Awesome.
So that was my first time being a little gremlin thing. And that's because my friend Carly from Massacre, she was like, be a gremlin with me. And I was like, absolutely. This sounds like a fantastic idea. And I loved it. I loved it so much.
Gremlin. Okay. Yeah, that word, I mean, I didn't even know how to describe what I was seeing with all the different like little leprechauns running around. I'm like, I don't know what these creatures are, but I'm all for it. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, gremlin. All right. So we will get into that.
Inspiration of what I was looking at was very like Dark Crystal or Labyrinth, and I was kind of going off of the costumes and like how those are all like kind of dinged up and detailed. So, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with that. It's kind of goblin-y. So, you think of like leprechauns just like going around stealing shit. So that was me.
Yeah, you know what? Goblin is the word that came to mind, but I like gremlin because now you have a little bit of a variety. You have your leprechauns, your
Difference, honestly.
goblins,
I know
and
you think of the movie Gremlins, but like,
yeah,
what's the difference, honestly? Like,
right,
so.
yeah. So you had these awesome teeth that were I know I mentioned them already that were super sharp. It looked like you had like jaws in your mouth, but you
Yeah.
were walking around with a bag of I don't know my beans all that well. What kind of beans were those? And were you actually eating them? Because I know I actually ate them, and luckily I had no digestive problems afterwards. But I was going with it.
Don't suggest to eat the beans. They're mostly there for me to enjoy and you just to watch me enjoy them. I don't know why, but it's like every time I discover that I need to do a new character, I need to find a new bit.
Okay.
So a lot of what I did, usually 10 times out of 10, haunters will always put something in their mouth. Like it's always involving like whether you're eating things out of the trash, like I don't know why. It's not a scare factor. It's just an ew factor. It's a gross factor. I guess it's just another thing to bring to the table because I feel like kids are getting harder and harder to scare. So it's like if you're not scaring them, you're just entertaining them and you're just being gross. It's basically just a freak show. So, but the
Yeah.
type of beans, I think I just got a regular black bean and then I think the other was just a pinto bean.
All right. Well, straight from Chipotle. No wonder I was eating them.
Yeah.
So my friend and I had stopped. It was his birthday, and so admittedly we stopped at Hooters first, and we got some libations basically. So I was like, this is gonna be even better because we're just at that level where like the haunted house, especially for him, he's like 6'7" and nothing really scares him. It was his first time. Unfortunately, he'll be on the episode later. I'll get to interview him separately, but he was like, "What are we doing?" And I'm like, "Trust me, this will be fun. We're gonna be right there in the same parking lot." And so we walk in, and I guess I was willing to risk it enough to eat the beans, and I blame that a little bit on the alcohol. But yeah, no, like I said, no digestive problems, and I like you said, I don't recommend it to anybody else. But I was there for the bit. When we do our haunted house, I'm a line actor, I'm an outside actor as well, and I don't like you said with the putting things in your mouth, I don't necessarily get that because I wear two masks and I pull the one off and then have another one underneath. So people think, oh, he's
On
gonna
that big
just,
reveal. We love a good wig reveal.
yeah. And so what I'll mostly do is I will still hand people stuff, So like whether it's, we got the flint rods on our hands and not necessarily handing that to them, but I'll have a little lighter with me or trying to think of what else. It's been almost what 4 or 5 months now since I've gotten into characters, so I got to kind of remember what I had with me. But yeah, that's you're right. There is an element to getting having it harder to scare people. So you kind of got to gross them out or just kind of like with the lighter. I would scrape the flint rod and they'd be like, how does he light up? And then I'd be like, I could light you up too. And then have the little lighter and stuff like that. So and of course, a lot of what I've pulled has been from seeing different haunted houses like, Disturbia and Hell's Gate and Basement of the Dead and all that stuff. But if you're not scaring, you guys are bringing the life of the party basically. And that's something that I think Disturbia does a really nice job with. I don't know if you're as, or I don't know if even I'm as familiar with the history of Disturbia, but I believe it was originally the same haunt that was in Rosemont for a year, and then they had to move it. And you would think that back of the parking lot is like an inopportune location, but you guys make it like a party back there with the DJ. You pull a lot of stuff from Basement of the Dead, so I'll let you speak onto that because I love the playlist and it's always rocking over there.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to like the Trans World or trade show conventions, we are asked to our haunted house is actually asked to DJ a lot of the shows, mainly because of our one DJ Psych Jam, who is unfortunately he's like in out in Florida right now, so he's not like with us every season, but we'll get him like a few times out of the season now. But he ended up getting really good at like being able to like create playlists. He's always had like an ear for music. He's an artist and himself, so really want to like pin him in. If you haven't like checked out his SoundCloud, he's really cool. um but he creates these playlists and he'll like put his own mixes on them. Like probably one of my favorite mixes that he does is the what's the one song that's like Shorty got me on the counter, wasn't me, and then it goes into
Oh,
like the
by
breakdown.
Shaggy. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yes, that one. He has his own specific like mix of that, and I absolutely love that because it gets me every time. So, and I'll hear these songs like eventually it'll start to like wear down on me, and then I'll like wait a night, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, it feels like a whole new playlist, and like you get back on onto it. So it's like a whole party every night. We did have that at Basement a whole lot, but I think it was after we had to kind of like rearrange everybody to like kind of switch some people coming over to Disturbia after we bought out Disturbia, because unfortunately it was just with COVID that the previous owners could not like kind of keep it going. So it was kind of like all the money got put into the haunt and not enough money was being able to produce for advertisement. At least that's what I thought it was. Uh, that's what the issue was. When we had bought the haunt, it still smelled like fresh spray paint. So literally all the sets were like capiche, like brand new. It still smelled like fresh spray paint, and there was Mardi Gras beads on most of the stuff because I think that last event that they hosted.
Oh my gosh. I had heard from when it was in Rosemont that there was pushback from the city of Rosemont, which is why the eventual move to Downers Grove happened. But I didn't know a whole lot of the behind the scenes. But like I said, you guys pull a lot of what you do at Basement of the Dead now that you guys are owned by the same company, and I just love it. I always preach that if you haven't been out to Basement of the Dead, it's a party. It's that little inlet below the street level, tucked away, and everybody's jamming out there. They, like you said, they have the DJ Psych Jam. We had won 2 tickets to Basement of the Dead 2 years ago now, two Octobers ago. So
Oh, wow.
he's always, I do have him on Instagram. So eventually I'll have to get him up on this podcast. And he does I love his costume because it's a kind of a little bit of an homage to Fluffy, the character, and everybody loves Fluffy. But
I
he does
know.
his own
It's
thing
like the
with it.
dreads, like, and everything. As soon as you see straight jacket and like long dreads, you instantly think Fluffy.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm not
But
trying to go for that. He's like, so we just call, sometimes we call him Sea Turtle.
sea turtle.
And it's just because of like the little happy smile that he's got on there. Because a lot of us, like, as soon as we get into character, he doesn't really need to have like a voice because he's kind of just up there and he does the announcements and everything. And so when it used to be, you probably came when it was still me and Sugar Daddy outside.
Sugar Daddy. Who is
Do you
Sugar
remember
Daddy?
Sugar Daddy?
Uh, I'm trying to think. What was he dressed like?
A clown.
A clown. Okay. I'm trying to think.
But
Yeah,
normally we would do
probably.
at top of every hour, we would do shots, t-shirts, and candy, and we would always do like throwouts. So I was Zoe, and then he was Sugar Daddy, and we would do like a duo of throwing everything out. But
Ah, dang,
again,
I don't know. I don't know if we
maybe it
were.
has been like 2 years since I've been at Disturbia now. Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. We did get. I have them around here somewhere. I should have grabbed them. The shot glasses that we got that have the little 4-leaf clovers on them from this most
Yes, make
recent
sure you're
trip. So
throwing those out at
we got
Disturbia.
some of those. I got I got one of the coins too. This one's right here.
Oh
So
yeah.
we were just collecting all the little trinkets and the
It's my
giveaways.
money.
Here, I'll give
I
back to you.
didn't
There you
get
go.
paid that night because you have my money.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's the paycheck. Yeah,
Thank
little
you.
pittance. We gave up our beads in the haunted house. One of the actresses in there was talking about. She's like, "Give me your necklace," and I was like, I'll be part of the show." So
It's
we gave
actually
those
really
back.
funny because then at the end of the night, we saw like one of our actors come back and he was loaded up to the neck with all of these beads because that's what she was doing is she was loading up one of our actors with all of these beads.
Oh my God, just the improv factor that you get with the actors and stuff is so much fun.
It's
And
the interaction. A lot of things got like more difficult with interaction as soon as COVID hit and everybody had masks on. It's like we had to rearrange how we were interacting with people. And even though like we were trying to like keep a distance from people, I'll tell you, it was damn near impossible to get anybody entertained or anybody scared like from being like 6 feet away.
yeah,
So
I can definitely see that. Yeah, we still made it out to a lot of stuff in 2020. We actually our personal we do as I mentioned we do just a haunted house out of our garage here, but we closed in 2019. We were taking the year off, which turned out to be a blessing because it snowed on Halloween and we probably would have lost a lot of our stuff. But then
not
2020 we
imagine.
came back and that was right when COVID hit. So it was like, all right, not only are we coming back, but we have to have some extra precautions and measures taken and stuff like that. But when we did go around to see a bunch of the haunted houses, yeah, masks were a little bit of a barrier for a lot of actors, and we were still having a good time. It was still fun, but I could definitely see how it would take a hit. But for Psych Jam, he just has the smile, so he's doing good, and he's up in the DJ
Yeah,
booth,
he
so
always even if he's pissed off,
he does it.
he
I wanted to
always
say
looks good.
he does a good job at making his character different from Fluffy, but yet still scary. So you know it's not Fluffy, but the homage to it is still kind of nice. But
I feel like there's almost every haunted house has a fluffy look-alike type character, and everybody tries to be him, but nobody's gonna ever be him.
yeah, he was there. I had noticed through social media. I think was he the one taking? Was he acting with you guys at the St. Patrick's Day haunted house,
Past
or
event? No, no, he wasn't.
was he just taking pictures? Because I had seen something he had tagged you in, or maybe he was just reposting what you had posted.
So possibly, I know. Yeah, he had a bit of a rough weekend that weekend. So, but he was not there.
Oh,
So
I did see that as well. Yeah. But
yeah,
well, with the year-round stuff though, I mean, you guys it keeps you guys open a lot more. And like I said, I was never one to buy into all of the year-round stuff, but I know you guys have an Easter event coming up soon.
yeah,
So
in
go ahead
about
and
2 weeks.
talk a little bit about that one, and then what year-round events really do for you guys and also the fans that are coming out to see it.
So the next one that we have coming up is our I think it's just Rotten Tales. It's not like Peter Rotten Tales, but the Rotten Tales one is really fun just because you can have like physical like hiding of Easter eggs, having, all of those pictures that you see of kids posing with the mascot bunny and they're screaming because they're so freaked out by the mascot bunny. That's what you can integrate into it. So I love Easter because not just because like it has like that aspect of, oh, it's symbolism of religion. We don't have any type of religious aspects in there that we try and like shame on. It's all just like bunnies, or even when we do our Valentine's Day event, it's very like those like Himmel children, like that are like the little like boy and girl like Valentine's Day card. And so like we'll try and like just integrate that. We have a lot of the kids, they just come in, they bring their own costume as long as they get it approved. We'll have a lot of costumes ready for them. A lot of people like outside of the industry, they'll just be like, oh, look, it's another haunted house trying to do a cash grab for another holiday. Not necessarily. We like to keep the events open so that other kids from other haunted house can integrate and become friends with each other, network with each other, and it kind of keeps the acting fresh. So when it comes time for October season, you already know how to interact with all these kids and with all these people coming through. And now you kind of have like a fresh look, because when you're stuck in a room and you're like, oh, I'm in this room again, and but I really wanted to be in this room, you kind of get that chance to get out of your comfort zone and act somewhere new. So
I like that, especially because what we do, we're a part of the Chicago Haunt Builders, so we have a lot of year-round events, but the only real time that we get a chance to obviously decorate our own houses and go with the full shebang is during October. And I try to switch my actors around a lot, but sometimes certain people fit into like certain roles and they do enjoy it. But sometimes they want to be out on the line with me, and sometimes I even want to be in the garage or in the backyard with them. And you
Exactly.
get to move around a little bit. And there is times where it flows nicely, where you can kind of improv and go in different places. But yeah, I can see your point about with the bigger scale haunted house productions, you get a chance to throw everybody in a bunch of different situations. Do you get to go inside the haunted houses at all, or do you stay on the line? And if you do get to go in, what are some of your favorite areas and rooms? Not to give
I
away too
kind
many
of get free
spoilers.
roam. I kind of get free roam, because mainly as soon as I get to the haunt, like I'm getting off of my regular like 9 to 5 job, and then 5 to 9, 5 to 9, whatever. I work early. So then I get to the haunt, I do everybody's makeup, and I have yet to take a break. By this time I already get into costume and then get out there. It's like, all right, now I'm already exhausted. Like I just got everybody else ready. Now I had to get myself ready, and now I'm in there. So a lot of the times as like a reset in between, like if I go through the entire line and everyone has seen my face or like a bit that I've done and I've seen everyone's face, I'll go inside and I'll kind of like mess around in there for a while. Probably my favorite part to kind of meander in, is everywhere from like our skull like catacomb way, because my favorite part about that is like all the vacuum form walls make like a really loud sound when you drag your hand across it or like some type of
Oh,
like tool, because then people are like walking, they're walking and I'm following right behind them. All of a sudden you just hear like this like loud but fast like sound come right up behind you, and I just watch all of them like freak out. And that's my favorite part, is just like getting the sound to like come up and travel right behind you. It's like right on your feet and you're like, ugh. um my other favorite is in the cabin, where it kind of looks like a front porch area, and there's like a big
yeah.
truck that just blinds you with their blinders. And then probably the kitchen after that. So our little kitchen area.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. That's awesome. Well, good luck. I don't know if we're going to get to Rotten Trails yet. For anybody listening, it's Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th from 7 to 9 both nights. Definitely get over there and check it out, because I was skeptical about the year-round ones, and then we did the St. Patty's Day event and it was awesome. So I can imagine that especially the Easter egg hiding for the Easter version is going to be very cool too for Rotten
I
Trails.
always just feel so bad that sometimes most of these events just happen to be on some of the coldest fucking days.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what really sucks about it. It's like, oh, it's been like, 50s, 60s, but of course once it hits our weekend to actually do our event, it's like 13 degrees. That's how it was for our Valentine's Day one. It's how it was for our Christmas one. So,
We were there as a
but
group
if
for the
people are
Christmas
crazy
one.
enough to come out and wait in that line, then we're gonna give you a hell of a show. So
We were there for the Christmas one, and you guys had that warming tent out there, which was great, and like
yes,
that
that was
jet
really nice.
heater. And so the minute we got in there, we were like, "Oh, this is so great." But I mean, yeah, it's got to be freezing for you guys on the line. There's not a lot of haunted houses that do an outdoor wait that open year round like you guys do. Is there any plans to maybe get bigger heated tents and kind of cover the line? Or I'm sure that's probably kind of expensive to do.
The worst part is because like it's such a wind tunnel over there with the
Oh,
overpass being right on the other side. We actually had an incident where a semi tire actually flew off and hit the side of the building and destroyed one of our panels, and it could have taken out like most of our electricity.
oh my
So a
God.
lot of the times with like the wind being back there, it has destroyed and toppled over a lot of the tents. So it's like to permanently install anything, it's all like more or less just the landlord portion of it. So
Wow. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, yeah, then that puts
it's fun stuff owning a haunt.
the
It sounds so fun.
yeah, right. Yeah, well this past time wasn't as cold, a little bit windy, but it was not as bad as we did. Like I said, we came for the Christmas version, and I know we were standing out there. But the music keeps you, like we talked about, it keeps you jumping up and down and moving around. And but I
Exactly.
commend you guys that are out there all night. Like that's got to be brutal.
You know what? I was burning up in that little tiny goblin suit. I was honestly,
What?
I had like layers on, thermals. I had like the hand warmers in my gloves. Like I was packed, ready to go. So
Okay.
I was sweating.
What were you for Christmas? Because when we were there, we saw a couple different actresses on
Tall
the line.
Krampus lady on stilts.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, we did see you then. We were my our one friend was more creeped out by Raggedy Ann because she was like eating buttons, and I
The
guess
buttons.
our one friend
Again,
just
there it
has
is. Another like, gotta put it in
yeah,
your mouth. It's the
exactly,
instant like haunt thing to do. Just like, oh, I see that, put it in my mouth. Oh,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
this? Put it in my mouth.
I guess she already has a fear of Raggedy Ann dolls or something like that. So that was traumatic for her to an extent. So that was
That's
good,
terrific. You know
but.
what? Let me see if I have some extra beans.
Oh, she got the
I have
costume
it.
right there.
It was my little bag of tricks. No, I got no beans, but I got
Oh,
my money.
oh, there you
All
go.
my money's.
See, you got way more than me. You got paid. You're good.
I'm right. I got way more than you. Never mind.
But
I gave away all my beans. Oh, and I also had crickets in there too. So it wasn't just a mixture of like white and black beans. It was also dehydrated crickets.
oh,
They
I
were
would not
chili
have.
flavored.
I would not have eaten those. Did you eat any of those?
I think you probably did.
Oh, were they the same size as the beans?
Really salty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I tried something new. I could put that down on the list now of things that
eat
I've
some
tried.
bug parts. There was probably like a leg in there or so.
Oh,
Yeah,
delicious.
they were chili flavored.
I did not taste the chili. I was more focused on swallowing the raw bean because like you get that in your mouth and it's not like you could chew it. So
It's now gonna
wow.
sprout. It's gonna sprout in your stomach.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's passed by now. I'm just gonna say that. But
Nope,
wow, the
like gum, it
crickets.
stays in your system for 7 years.
Oh boy. Well, that'll be fun. Next thing I know, I'll have a beanstalk coming out my ass. Oh boy. Oh, and there's gonna be crickets on that beanstalk. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know there were crickets in there. I just ate crickets. Wow.
You got a
I
tiny
am
little ecosystem growing in you right now.
I am more gross and ballsy than I thought I was that night. That was wow. Okay. That's fine. I'll be prepared for next time to make sure I'm
You're putting
watching what
live
I'm
cockroaches in your mouth, though.
have you done that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. Yeah. Usually bugs, not my forte. I mean, I'll
My
kill the
favorite.
spider or whatever, but nope, Okay. Yeah,
I
well, I'll
used
have
to
to
actually out at basement because the parking garage
yeah.
would always fill up with spiders, and especially like down underneath where Shattered is, spiders would always live under there. So we'd actually collect them and we'd bring them over to people and literally just put it on them. So they
Oh,
some of them went home with a happy little friend. Or I would
okay.
just let them live in my wig because my wig came out to like this big, so I just put them in there. But then I'd had little fake spiders, and I'd take out the fake spiders and I'd throw it on people.
You have no fear. Wow. Okay. Yeah, yep, I'd be uncomfortable with that. I'd be like, get it off me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely not taking any of them home, not eating any of those. Yeah, I'll stick
No,
to
you're
my
going home with them, whether you know it or not. You're going home with them.
all right. Well, if I see you at Disturbia or basement, I'll know to always look over my shoulder, make sure you're not putting
I
any
tell
like
you what
live
I
bugs.
am, so you won't know. So
Oh no. Okay. All right. Oh,
it's
yikes.
always a mystery. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm an enigma.
Oh, yeah. I get. Oh my goodness. All right. Oof. Yeah. If I feel something crawling, I'm going to. I'm gonna run out of there. That'll be the time where I jump, because I will say, like you said, it is harder to scare, especially somebody like me myself. You know, we go to all the haunted houses, so I've kind of seen everything. So I'm there for the show. I'm there for the excitement of it, and also to see my other friends who are inexperienced jump. But there's a couple times where I let my guard down and I'll get
Your
jumpy.
one friend did not jump, but you
He
were
didn't.
very fun to interact with.
Yeah, he was kind of just taking it all in, kind of hanging there. He's very musically inclined too. When I get him on, we'll talk about that. So he was vibing with a lot of the songs and stuff like that, and just the whole experience. And then he's almost as tall as a couple of the actors that were on stilts. So I was like, this is too funny. Like the guy doesn't even need stilts. But yeah, the time I would jump though is if I found something live creepy crawly inside of my pants or something like that, or my
Remember
sweatshirt.
that because now I'm gonna get one of those long centipedes.
Oh, absolutely not. No, 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 no. Centipedes, I cannot
Yep,
do.
I'm gonna let that thing just crawl like right up.
Nope, 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 nope. Nothing should have that many
The
legs
more
on it.
legs, the better.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. Oh, okay. Yep, I've just dug myself a hole. Well, we're definitely
I'm
going to
going
try
on
to make it
Amazon
out.
right after this is over.
Oh, well, we're definitely going to try to make it out for Rotten Trails. But is there anything else that we missed that we should plug for you, or Disturbia, or Basement of the Dead, or anything that you got going on? And if you want to drop your socials as well, feel free so everybody can follow your progress.
Besides just my own stuff is just following. I'm also doing body painting now, so I'm actually doing like full body painting. I'm working with a photographer with EBFX. So a lot of that is going to be doing more photographing of like full body stuff in the future. So
Gotcha.
yeah, follow me on Emma Von Zombie either on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. And will you be at Midwest Haunters Convention?
I will be, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look over my shoulder then too, because we will for sure be at. I will be for sure at that one. I'm gonna try to get my group out with me as well. So I don't. I'm not coming home with any bugs.
Or
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm putting them in your pocket.
Ah. Okay. Well, thank you so much
There's
for
a nice
jumping on.
shiny gold coin in there for you.
The coin is fine. The bugs, no. They can find a different home. Oh.
I mean, if you hold the bug, there'll be a nice shiny coin in there for you.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll
See,
go with the coin in
bribery
the
works
pocket.
every time.
Coin in the pocket, bug in the hand. I'll face my fears. All right.
It, bug in the pocket, coin in the hand.
No, 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 no. That's not how this works. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. I don't want to take too much of your time, but once again, everybody get over to Disturbia, even if it isn't the year-round stuff, definitely during Halloween, and go follow Emma Von Zombie on all her stuff. And we'll have to get Sight Jam on, and then eventually Slider Jesus as well, and we'll go through the whole crew, even our haunt builders. So stay tuned for all of that we've got coming. And when I post this episode, of course, I'll send you all the links, and you'll get to hear my buddy's reaction from his first experience. I don't think he came home with any bugs either, but yeah.
I think I put some beans in his pocket in his hoodie.
All right. Well, so he's going to be sprouting as well. He's already sprouted. He's 7 foot tall. So.
Yeah. Don't even need to water him.
Awesome. Thank you again so much. We'll be in contact, and good luck with all of your stuff in the future.
Thank you too, Michael.
Thanks.
Well, I heard that the devil's walking around, holding on to his words, but baby, I saw an angel become the devil. Still they were pretty good, hand in hand, but baby, I don't need any of them. Heaven or hell.
All right, I want to just thank Emma Von Zombie for a great interview. And now I've got another interview. This one's a little bit more personal, near and dear to the heart here with my buddy Josh Masters. So I just interviewed one of the haunt actors that we got to see the night we went to the St. Patrick's Day themed haunted house. Now I'm joined by Josh Masters, longtime buddy of mine. I'll go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy. Tell everybody a little bit about you too.
My name is Joshua Masters, or Josh, doesn't matter to me. I manage a restaurant in Oak Brook. I produce music, and I love my son. That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Yeah, we are going to get into that music in just a second because it has to do a little bit with the haunted house itself. But was this your first haunted house ever, or had you been to one like a long time ago? I forget what you had mentioned to me.
I've been to like a couple like smaller ones, but yeah, no, this was like my first haunted house that wasn't like 5 minutes and done. This was like my first like haunted house. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of an amateur, so I don't know how big or how intense they get, but
There's no, this is definitely one of the bigger ones. It's all the professional ones have gotten their way up the chain basically. The biggest one that I think production wise is still Hell's Gate. I know I've talked about that on previous episodes and my love for that one is immense, but this Disturbia was very good. We talked about with Emma Von Zombie, we talked about the outside wait and how cold it is, but we were dancing around to the music and you make music, so you were vibing with some of the songs there. What was that line experience for you?
that was fun. I play guitar. I played guitar for 17 years, and my roots are like blues, rock, alternative, early 2000s, late 90s stuff. They were playing a lot of like metalcore, some Linkin Park in there. Then they mixed it up with some hip hop, which I mainly produce hip hop and R&B. So it was actually a comfortable mix for me. The music definitely made it tolerable because just standing out there in the cold otherwise would have sucked.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The other thing that was tolerable out there in the cold was the actors. She had mentioned to me, so you remember how I ate those beans out of her hand? She had mentioned to me that I must not have looked closely. I did not taste any. But apparently in that bag there were also dried, like vacuum dried and chili coated crickets.
Nice.
So yeah, I accidentally ate crickets. So that was a shocker to me. I didn't taste them. I only tasted the beans. Even those, it was tough because they were all raw. It was like black beans and pinto beans or whatever. But then on your side of things, you were getting into it with some of the actors. The one dude on stilts, you were almost as tall as him. So that was kind of funny to see that you didn't even need stilts. And then of course there was a guy pretending to play air guitar up there as well. What were the ones that kind of stood out to you in the line?
the uh the air guitar. I whenever I see someone doing air guitar, I immediately judge them. You got to look at a couple things. You got to look at where um some people do a Jimmy Page, right? And they have their guitar all the way down to their knees, and then some people do it like they're playing bass and they have it up way too high. Um, and then it's all in the power stance, right? Like School of Rock. Is the left leg bending? Are the hips locked? How far apart are the feet? So it's all in the power stance. And then it helps to know the song. But yeah, no, I it was definitely the music. The music, I mean, music is life, dude. That's music keeps the world going. So yeah, the fact that they had that music playing, I think everyone was jamming. We were just like singing with random people that we had just met. So
Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure that air guitar guy was also the dude that tossed you the shot glass. We got some goodies and some giveaways and just super interactive in the line. The one actor though, he did leave the was it the whip or the chainsaw on that stand, and you were just kind of looking at him like, bro, don't leave your weapons behind because we're gonna use them against you.
I play a lot of like RPG video games, and if I see something laying on a barrel and I have the inventory space, I'm gonna grab it. You never know when you can need a whip for combat or for other things.
Yeah, exactly. Now, getting into the haunt, we did go through, of course, and it was a lot warmer in there. We got to see a bunch of the rooms. Of course, a lot of it was St. Patrick's themed, so a lot of it had to do with leprechauns, and they had some shamrock stuff all around. We got beads. We didn't even have to lift our shirts. Nobody would have wanted to see that, you know. But what else was there? What was some of your favorite parts inside, or some kind of things that you didn't quite expect that you'd see that kind of made your jaw drop?
I hate to sound like a buzzkill, but I go into haunted houses with the intent of trying to spot as many of the scares before they happen as possible. Now, that being said, they did a good job of preparing for people like me, right? Because there were a couple times where I was so focused on what I thought was the next scare that I got scared and surprised because I was honed in on like a corner. But there were a couple times when I was like, "That's an actor. That's a person. That's a person." They gotta a couple of those guys got to work on standing still. Um, but that's hard because I do the same thing when I watch TV shows. Like if there's a dead body in a body bag on like NCIS or something, I'm looking to see if it's breathing or like if the actor is moving or not. But it was there were I can't remember specifically, but I jumped a couple times. I think I screamed very, very, very deep scream, very masculine, of course. But yeah, there's a couple of times it got me. The chainsaw at the end, you know, that's that's a tale as old as time. That doesn't even get me anymore. Like I
That's
feel like
true.
I feel like there was, great haunted house, but whenever I see the chainsaw at the end, I'm always like, oh man, like we gotta think of something new.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the haunted houses that we've seen fall into that trap of, the chainsaws at the end, and it's kind of the place that they can put it. There's some that can switch it up. Even we at Voodoo on Vassar, the one year we switched it so it was like halfway through when you're walking through the backyard. So we could change it up a little bit. But I see your point. I'm also not a huge fan of that alien room at the end with all the bars that it was like the maze that we were walking through.
Yeah.
I've been through that before when they had it all in strobes, and it's like those strong strobes, so it's really disorienting you. There's fog, and then it was like a jailbird scene, so you had a bunch of actors in there all climbing on the bars. There kind of was this time too, but I don't know, aliens don't scare me too much. So in the past I had docked them for ratings, just because they changed up that room, and I kind of wish they would go back to how it was. But I still love the interior. In the earlier interview, we had mentioned the skull walls that they have in there, which are pretty cool, and a lot of the scenery is really cool. They get you to look up at a lot of the big giant props that, well, for you, it's like looking at eye level, But
No,
yeah,
you just reminded me. They actually one thing I was impressed was there's not many times that I so what's scary for me is like I don't know where I'm going. It scares the crap out of me. Like they did a good job. There was one room where you legitimately couldn't see through the fog. And I
yeah.
remember I was like just out of like habit, like I raised my hands and started like trying to move it away, and you're like, it's not going anywhere, dude. There's fog machines, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta try, right?
Yeah, the
But
laser
that
swamp, I
they
think, was it?
yeah, so they did a good job. That I liked that. That was probably my favorite part of the whole haunted house. Definitely.
Yeah, they have a very different and intricate laser swamp because it's in that area where you're like walking on like scaffolding basically, and then it goes up and there's things that pop out and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. And then I think when we got out of the sewer there, you were looking at that Pennywise in the corner and you're like, is that thing real? So yeah,
Yeah.
they do a good job of that too. But yeah, other than that, we usually base everything on scores 1 through 5, 5 being the best. I know there's not much for you to really compare it to from what you've seen in the past, but on a scale from 1 to 5, where would you throw this one in? Especially, it's a little tough because not only for you are there not other haunted houses for you to compare it to, but even for me and for you, we have never seen any other St. Patrick's Day themed haunted houses, so it's kind of hard to compare it to anything else at St. Patrick's Day. But how would you rank them overall if you had to give like a raw score?
So when you rate music, you don't actually compare. Like if I was rating like a Kanye album, I wouldn't say I'm rating this based off of the best Kanye album ever. One, because
True.
all music is different. And two, it's just not fair. So I would rate this. I rate music off of a couple things. I think that translates. So technical execution, right? How it made me feel. I guess that's just kind of in a nutshell it. Like those two things, technical execution. I don't know enough about haunted houses to kind of rate that. So how it made me feel is basically what I have to go off of. I'm gonna say I mean, dude, I called out. What would you say? 70% of the actors that were there, I called out, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I ruined it for the people behind us a little bit. But
No, they were having a good time. They were laughing because you were on high alert going into every room,
I
head on
was
the
like
swivel.
John Wick in that shit, dude. Am I allowed to swear? I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, you're good.
Oh fuck, cool, dude. I've been fucking not swearing this whole time. I'd give it a. I God, dude, I feel like such a dick. I'd give it a three.
Okay, no, that's a pretty decent
Three.
score. I don't think we've ranked anything lower than I don't think we've given anything a two. So three's right in the middle. It's a good score, especially for St. Patrick's Day is a little bit of a stretch sometimes too. But
Yeah,
that's a decent score. In the past for their actual haunted house, I think we've given them a four. So you're kind of right in the ballpark. And
I wanted to say 3.5,
that's
but
fine
I
too.
went
Yeah,
with three. So yeah,
that's fine too. Yeah, I think I would put that around the same. I've seen the inside of their haunt before, so it was a little bit same old for me, but in a good way. And then just doctored up to be St. Patrick's Day themed, and yeah, I'd probably throw it in a 3.5 too. I did have, I mean, I think what made the experience was, like we mentioned before, just the company we were with, the people behind us, how the actors got along with everybody, even in the line, and the music and all that stuff. So yeah, overall, 3.5 is still a pretty damn good score. I'm like to mention for all the haunted houses that end up either listening to this or if it gets passed along that if we really don't like it, it's getting a two or a one. Like there's a huge discrepancy between a two and a three, and three's still a pretty damn good score. So I think you're right on there. That being said, we'll have to get you in for a couple more of these, especially come Halloween, so that you can get more ratings in for your what's the word I'm looking for your toolkit so you can kind of compare and also I think for you to give your first score in kind of a range that makes sense you've already got the hang of it, so I trust your judgment when it comes to Halloween time.
yeah. I molested one of the I molested one of the monster figures in the front. Um,
Oh yeah, I thought you meant one of the actors. I was like, wait, you're not supposed to touch the actors, but no, yes,
yeah,
we do have some pictures that
no.
I was gonna bring that up. There was a
Oh, you
monster
thought you were
that
gonna scare me, huh? Sorry.
Yeah, no, we have some risque pictures of. I mean, hey, the monster's head was. I mean, you're a tall guy, so it was
It
kind
was
of.
right there, dude.
Yeah, it was kind of in a prime position, if you know.
Despite all those teeth, I mean, he really knew how to.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, yeah.
God. Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for jumping on. I know you're pinched on time, but I'm glad we got your
No, no
review
worries.
in. Being a music fan, I know it's a little bit of a tangent from Halloween, but I know it's not necessarily your top genre. But did you hear the Fall Out Boy album drop this past weekend, and what were your thoughts on it, if you did?
I have not heard the Fall Out Boy album, to be honest. Yeah, I haven't listened to Fall Out Boy. Like I listened to that one song they have in the like when it plays at a bar or something, and then like I don't know. I mean, I have an open mind. I'm I listen to all music. I'll give it a spin, but
Yeah, there's a huge discrepancy, not to jump away from Halloween or to keep you on any longer, but there's people who love their diehard old tried and true stuff, and then they kind of switched up and got more pop rather than alternative, or I wouldn't even say grunge rock, but it was like a deeper alternative. But like their lyrics are always super poetic, and I think this new album is a mix of the old and the new, and it honestly makes it some of their best stuff. So I'll send it over your way. It's
yeah,
pretty good.
no,
I've been enjoying it.
capitalism has its pros and cons, but capitalism is the enemy of art. Capitalism destroys art, and when you create for a quota, you're just doing that, and you're not really being free, like artistically. So I tend to maybe I do have a bias. It's hard for me to not it's hard for me to not be reluctant when I listen to like when Linkin Park did the Rest in Peace Chester Bennington, but when Linkin Park released their like new age albums. Like, what was it before he passed away, like 7, 8 years ago? God, we're getting old. But you could tell they like Linkin Park didn't want to go into the studio and make that music. They made it because like the new divide, walk the new divide,
Yeah.
like it was just like pop metal, and it was just this bizarre thing. And even they said that they didn't like, I don't know, man. Like I hate when they create and they try to conform, and it's like, no, we love Linkin Park because of Hybrid Theory and Reanimation and the self-titled album, or whatever their other one is, Crawling, Numb, like Place for My
Oh yeah.
Head, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
My December, like all those tracks. That album with Jay-Z is like one of the best albums ever, I
Oh yeah.
think. And it's like, I hate when they try to recreate. I'll give it a listen, but
Well,
probably
this
gonna
new
be.
stuff is all stuff that they wanted to produce. So they kind of they started out where they wanted to, and then the newer stuff. I do like some of their newer pop stuff, but you could tell, like you're saying, I'm sure they wanted to make that music, but they wanted to, like you said, kind of conform and go the pop route. And then this newer stuff that they produced, you can tell that they put everything into it. And it's, I mean, they're always super like poetic with their lyrics, which I think is really cool because everything has like a deeper meaning. And even though it's not the darkest of stuff, it's talking about stuff that are like darker concepts. So me being a Halloween nut, I think it relates to a lot of things that like people who have a dark side really kind of can relate to and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, I did like New Divine from Linkin Park, but other than that, I couldn't tell you anything else on those newer albums. It's all their older stuff pretty much.
Yeah,
So
that was like the one song that was like tolerable. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm very pretentious when it comes to music,
No,
man.
you
Like I still played like Jimi Hendrix albums because
oh yeah.
I'm an old head when it comes to like rock bands or live music bands. When it comes to hip hop, I love the new age stuff a lot more, but it's really hard for me to like rock and roll from the new age. Like I listen to Zeppelin, Hendrix, like Metallica, like, like if I'm gonna
Yeah.
listen to alternative rock, it's gonna be old Linkin Park or uh like Blink 182 is like the
Oh yeah.
most modern I'll go for that stuff. Like it's really hard for me to like to listen to new stuff because again, it feels plastic to me. But I'm very pretentious, so my
I got you.
opinion is I gatekeep the shit out of that. So
No problem. No, I value your opinion because you make music. Go ahead before I let you go. Plug everything you got going, whether it's Halloween related or not. Where can they find you and your music too?
I'm on. This is gonna sound terrible and probably give me zero credibility, but I'm just on Instagram. I go live a couple times a week. I make my beats. I sell all my beats just through Instagram. I am working with a producer from the city of Chicago right now. We're working on getting the Beat Stars up. But again, I hate creating for a quota, man. So I just go live. Um, and I make stuff from scratch and stuff that I want to make, and people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I want to buy this." Um, Last year, I did about $15,000 to $20,000 in sales for my beats, for just people on like small artists, people on TikTok. I'm not like going platinum here, but again, I manage a restaurant that pays all my bills, that takes care of everything I need, and I've thought about, I could easily make a beat star and make a Lil Yachty or Lil Uzi type beat or Ice Spice type beat, but I really hate that, dude. It takes it
Yeah,
takes the it takes the fun out of it, and I do music because I love it and I have fun. That's my primary focus, is having fun and then developing my skill. So yeah, again, I have all my stuff available. I don't hide my stuff. I have hundreds of videos on my Instagram. It's Joshua Masters, like the golf tournament underscore on Instagram. I go live. It's raw. It's unfiltered. Actually, it's so unfiltered. I think one time I smoked a blunt and I went on. I went live and made a beat, and like 30 minutes in, I forgot I was on live, and I started picking my nose.
oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
super,
and
super live. That super
and and the beat was so hard that I didn't want to delete the video. So somewhere on my Instagram, there's a video like me picking my nose and like with my mouth open, like tongue hanging out, like totally fucking zooted. But
That's the
yeah,
scariest thing we've talked about yet.
yeah, yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you again for jumping
Yeah, of
on.
course. Yeah,
We'll get you
no
back when we get to go see some haunted houses in October. And until then, oh, and then also if I make some mixes for Voodoo, if we bring Voodoo back this October, I'll definitely have to run it by the music master over here.
Yeah,
So
I can produce I can make a couple like Halloween beats.
there we go. Yeah, all right.
Just some organs and some bells, stuff like that.
Perfect, perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for jumping on, buddy. It was an
Yeah, thanks for
awesome
having
night.
me.
It was a blast. I'm glad we got to relive it here, and we will talk to you soon.
Yep. Take care. Appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. Thanks.
Yep. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
You need to find you some. Hey, 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 hey. I'm on that slaughter gang. Hey, murder gang. Hey, slaughter gang. Hey, murder gang.
Before I say thank you to my guest Josh Masters and I move into my next interview, we have a very important and special segment brought to you by Matt Nausid, my previous guest from Greenbriar Cemetery. He has come up with this idea, and it's a great segment. We're going to be bringing it to you in each episode going forward. This is the inaugural one. This will be the Home Haunters Hack, and he's got a fun one queued up for you already. So without further ado, let's get right into this month's Home Haunters Hack with Matt Nausid.
Hello and welcome to this month's Haunters Hack. I'm Matt from Greenbriar Cemetery, and today we're going to be talking about fog. Where to get foggers, how to use them, different styles for your application, tips and tricks, and lastly, fog juice. So where can you find foggers? So foggers can be found at high-quality retailers such as Froggy's Fog, Global Effects, Master FX, but really, you can find them at any kind of big box store, Amazon, anything like that, ranging from 400-watt very small machines for single prop use up to very large 1,500-watt plus for larger applications. Prices range from $30 to $1,200 depending on how deep and how expensive you would like to purchase. So how do you use these foggers once you get one? Well, foggers come in all shapes and sizes, so we really need to look at your applications. Foggers can come in upshot foggers, such as on top of pillars or some other applications like that. We have foggers with LED lighting, so if you want to add lights to your fogger, you can do so. Ground foggers are very, very good for graveyards and things like that to set your scene off. There are several accessories that you could buy to help you with this, such as piping or perforated tubing, types of piping to make sure that you can spread out your fog throughout your scene. Fog chillers are also used for this application. Tips and tricks that I have. First of all, make sure that you are cleaning and taking care of your fogger every year. Year over year, I have to test and clean my foggers at Greenbriar Cemetery. If I don't, I've had in the past where I have them fail. Luckily, I didn't spend too much money on them, but now as I'm getting larger, I'm spending more and more money. I want to make sure that I take care of the things that I buy. So I put a cleaner fluid in them to make sure that we clean out all debris, make sure that I set them up for the next year's run. So little helpful tip there. Second one, lots of people don't do this, but you can add scent to your fog. I know Froggy's is where I source mine from, but you can get it from other places as well. But I use the Froggy's scent in my haunts. You can have it smell like a haunted house. You can have it smell like rotting bodies. Whatever you need to match your scene, they have a scent for it. Another tip that I have is making sure that you use either a timer, in whatever your application is, a timer. They can be triggered, or you can even have a remote. So depending on what your needs are for your scene, you could have it run independently. I know this helps me greatly to have a hands-off approach to my haunt, making sure that the fog is running, the scene is set, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's a huge one for us. And lastly, make sure that you hide your foggers in your scene. Be sure to place behind tombstones or something like that, or in a pillar. Make sure that you are planning out your power beforehand. These things do draw some power, so make sure that you plan this out so you don't trip your breakers once you're trying to heat up the fluid. Once you're turning on your lights and you're turning on everything else, make sure you plan out your power accordingly. That will definitely be helpful for you. Lastly, I'd like to talk about fog juice. There are so many different on the market. How do I decide? Is the question. And I think it's a budget question. There are so many premium products out there. It's really dependent on what you would like to spend. I know that I've used several different ones in the past. I'm currently using a Froggy's Fog right now, but it's going to be based on your budget. So let's recap. Pretty much when talking about foggers, it's a budget decision. Do I want to spend $1,200 on a fogger? Do I need that? Is it going to be good for my application? Do I want to add a scent? Do I need piping? Do I need an accessory? It's all based upon your application. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on any of my social media platforms at Greenbriar Cemetery. I'm Matt from Greenbriar Cemetery, reminding you to be creative and stay scary.
Huge thank you to Matt from Greenbriar Cemetery, bringing you this first Home Haunters hack. Some really insightful information about fog and where you can find it, where you can buy it, so get on that. And I can't wait to see what he has in store for everyone in the future. Keep it up, man, and we will talk to you next month. Now back to the regularly scheduled interviews and the rest of the episode. Enjoy. Thank you again to Josh Masters for jumping on, giving his recap of the Disturbia LeprecHaunted House that we went to. Of course, the first interview you heard from Emma Von Zombie was talking all about that. From the actor's perspective, this was a little bit more from the newbie haunt connoisseur perspective. And then you've got me, who's been to all of it. So I like to get everybody's perspective on it and all the different angles. Now we're going to be joined real quickly by my friend Rob, who has been on the show before. He's come to the haunted houses with us in October and a couple of the Christmas ones. He didn't come to the St. Patrick's Day one with us. However, he and I did go see, not Skinamarink. I did say I was going to go watch that one, but we did watch Scream 6. Man, they're already on 6 in the movie theaters. So we are going to give a quick movie review on that one. I know I've been chickening out on Skinamarink, but had to go watch Jenna Ortega in Scream instead. And then he went and binged all the Scream movies. So he is a Scream expert basically at this point. So we'll have to get his take on that. He's joining us right now. Before I get to Rob, I also want to mention that there are a couple other Easter themed haunted houses going on. I'm not sure when this episode will necessarily be dropping, so we may have missed it. Especially this is the April episode, so we're definitely going to miss it. But if you did get a chance, Saturday, April 1st, Easter Casket Rotten Egg Hunt at Insanity Haunted House in Peru, Illinois. I know that's kind of far south for most people that probably listen to this podcast, but we just want to give them their props. And then Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th, Easter Mayhem at Factory of Fear in Moline, Illinois. So same time as the Disturbia Easter event. And then also on that same weekend, Friday and Saturday, the second annual Execution. So that is at Night Terrors of Effingham in Effingham, Illinois. And that is it for Easter stuff. So go out there. There's 4 technically, right? Yeah, 4, but we may have missed one already. So definitely get over to Disturbia. Thank you a bunch to Emma Von Zombie, who came on again, and then Josh, who gave his review. And now I am joined once again by the top P, Rob Pesce. How's it going, man?
What? No, I'm just joking. How we doing? Are you all alone?
What's up? What's up?
What the? Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone. What's up?
What's up?
Yo, Duque, pick up the phone. Yo.
What's up?
What you doing, son?
Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
What is it? Monday? Monday night?
It is. It is
All
Monday.
right.
It is Monday, March 27th. We're interviewing for the April, or we're jumping on Zoom for the April podcast early because of the fact that there's some Easter haunted houses that I was just listing that are coming out within like the first couple of weeks. So we'll
All
get this
right.
out and promote
like it.
them right away. But other than haunted houses, there's scary movies coming out, and you and I just saw Scream 6 in theaters, and I thought it was pretty darn good. So what was your take? And I just mentioned to the fans that you went and binge watched all the other previous Screams. So what can you
First-
tell us from the whole
First of all,
trilogy, or well, double trilogy? There's 6 movies.
First of all, it's March. I had no idea that Scream 6 was even coming out.
Right?
So why not have it during Halloween? Maybe because there was too much stuff going on already. Because I think the Halloween movie came out, Michael Myers and all that. I don't know, but they released it in March. So we randomly one day were just like, hey, let's go see a movie. And you suggested, you're like, let's go see Scream. I'm like, Scream's in theaters? Okay. So we go see Scream 6. Now you got, mind you, I am OG. I started in 1996 with Scream 1, Stab 1, you know? And that's kind of like where I left off. Like I remember second one came out, third one came out, and I kind of saw tidbits here and there, but I didn't really watch them. I don't know. I think I was already like moving past it. So we saw Scream 6, and you could still follow along because obviously it's that same great recipe. It's just like, who's the killer? Here's the characters. What the hell's going on? Suspense, cool killings, and then like it resolves, and you're like, whoa, okay. So it's like just like a mystery. It's like playing Clue, right? So we saw Scream 6, and I was so inclined, and I liked it so much, and it brought back all those like feelings of nostalgia that I went back and rewatched 1 through 5, and I was just like actually blown away by it. I thought it was pretty cool how to see it grow. And I never realized, to be honest, maybe I was just not oblivious, but I didn't realize how good of a franchise it was. So it is a franchise. And it can essentially keep forever going. It's just like Fast and Furious, like Star Wars, et cetera, et cetera. It could literally it has that same recipe, like a hip hop song. It's got your hooks, it's got the fun chorus, and then it's got your good ending. So like they can keep going if they want, you know.
And just like Fast and Furious, it's all about family.
It's all about stabbing.
Yeah,
I did mention
stabbing too.
I did mention to you, it's not like I really want to do it, but the movies made me want to start stabbing people. I'm like, that's not good.
My.
Not like
Listen.
not in real life, but I was like, dude, the movie just everyone's running around with a knife and stabbing people. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So
Rob's gonna get committed after the FBI listens to this episode because they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we got him. He's the one recreating Scream in real life."
What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
They ain't gonna find me.
Listen, they might find the bodies, that's for sure. But anyways, no, I'm kidding. For anybody listening, of course, we're not going to give out spoilers. I know Rob knows, and it's kind of the elephant in the room that we won't give out spoilers. So,
Yeah.
but I'll just say it just to be certain. But I did like it. As much as a Halloween fan as I am, and I don't mean Halloween the franchise, I mean Halloween in general, everything surrounding scary movies and stuff like that. I tend to overlook some of the slasher movies because, like you said, there's a recipe to it. Sometimes it's not always scary because there's unrealistic parts to it. I didn't find that there were a whole lot in this movie. There were a couple times where I was like, "Come on, like really?" Like,
yeah, but that's just part of it.
That's part of it. So I usually pass up on those. So I have only seen the first Scream from start to finish.
Nice.
Missed 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
So
we
you're
went
just like
into the
me.
movie theater. Yeah, then we went into the movie theater for 6. But like you said, you're able to pick up on it. They give you enough clues from previous movies to understand what's going on. And I thought the acting all around was great. I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but Tony Revolori, the kid who is Flash in the new Spider-Man movies and Marvel, he was in it, and I thought he played a pretty good role.
Right.
It was weird to see him in something other than being in a Marvel Spider-Man
little bit.
Samara Weaving if you've seen she's been in a bunch of, she's a very big horror actress. in I think she was in The Babysitter, I think is what
Big
it's
horror
called. It's on
actress.
Netflix.
No, horror.
And
Big horror actress. Yeah.
that's not what I said. But horror. But
Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah. Gosh. And then of course Jenna Ortega, who is absolutely killing the Halloween scene right now after playing Wednesday Adams in the series Wednesday. She's now
Yep.
in this Scream movie. I thought she did a phenomenal job. And then I would even throw her role in the series You in there. I mean, it's not Halloween, but it's basically about a serial killer.
Oh, she is
and
in that? Okay. I
She
haven't
was
checked
in
that out yet.
season 2, I want to say. It's been a while now. I just watched season 4. That was very good too, by the way. But it's been a while since I've seen. She had a smaller role in that one, but kind of an integral role. And yeah, she was very good in that as well. And
In the Scream franchise, she was, I guess, introduced in the 5th movie. That's what I think I learned.
okay,
Jenna Ortega.
have you gotten to the 5th one yet?
Yeah, I watched them all. Yeah. So
okay.
I actually kind of like went backwards and frontwards. It was kind of weird. I met in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
After
Yeah,
we
no,
watched
it still
6, I
works.
was so inclined. I'm like, I feel like I missed it. I did see that movie, and I was kind of like, I could tell I missed kind of a bunch of stuff. So I went straight to 5. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And of course, with every slasher franchise and series, there's so many of them. Some of them get retconned, but I mean, of course, my favorites are the classics. I'm Michael, so Michael Myers is up there. But I do love Jason actually more. I think his story is a little bit cooler. Some of the Michael Myers stuff's a little unrealistic. Of course, Jason's mostly unrealistic,
That's how you
but
see it?
a little
No,
bit, a little
no,
bit.
this is interesting.
Jason wears a hockey mask, so yeah,
Right.
he's got extra points with me. But with the mom's severed head, I guess that part's not unrealistic. But him drowning and coming back to life, I guess Michael Myers too. But Michael Myers gets like shot and stabbed, and killed so
You
many
know
times.
what?
And he
I'm
comes
glad you're
back.
saying this because I actually never really thought about this. So I was never a Jason guy. So I guess it's literally like McDonald's and Burger King or like Coke and Pepsi. Like I think I'm like a gung ho Michael Myers guy, but you like
Okay.
Jason. So this is kind of interesting to hear, the difference. I never really thought of it like that.
So we can make our own team here, is what we're saying. We pair off nicely.
Pretty much. We're like practically the same guy.
Right. Yeah. I just wear a hockey mask. You wear an all white mask, basically, and a
Rubber mask.
jumpsuit. Yeah, there you go.
I already dress like that anyway, so.
My knife's a little bigger, not to compare sizes, but
Yeah, mine's smaller.
But no, what's it called? Then we're missing Freddy Krueger. When I first saw it, even how cheesy the original is compared to today's modern graphics and movie effects,
Right.
even that one was how do I say it? That got me because just the idea of somebody being able to like walk into your dreams and you're not sleeping, and that's creepy. And of course, I think you've seen some of the Merkins on YouTube. They do all the
Right, I have seen
parodies,
those.
yeah, parody songs, and they use all basically. I think there's 5 in total of the classic slashers. They've got Freddy, Jason, Michael, Ghostface, and then Leatherface are the typical cast and crew. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've come to love the classic slashers. I mean, you can't not, even if you knock the movies for being what they are, whether it's cheesy or just the same formula regurgitated over and over again, and sometimes it gets old or done to death. They're still iconic characters.
Yeah, they're still iconic characters, you're right, and they're still the recipe, but at the same time, they still figure out little ways to kind of make it interesting and give you curveballs, and they figure out a way, But obviously, they don't stray too far away from the good recipe, as you were saying.
There was a curveball in this one, and I'm gonna tiptoe around it so I don't give away any
don't.
spoilers. But there was a reoccurring character that I thought was gonna die, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a revelation." Not that I wanted to see that character die, but
Right.
it was just. It sounds like they're going to have another movie coming after this, a Scream 7.
Dude, they're gonna keep they got to keep it going.
They'll just find ways to bring those people back, and I'll just leave it at that. And
After
to me, I was like, all right, like you gotta kill a couple of the main ones off.
After rifling literally for 4 days in a row and just watching 1 through 6, I could see this going forever. Like they can just keep going. Yeah,
honestly, maybe they will.
I don't know.
We're gonna get Ghostface in space.
Dude,
And he's gonna
it's
be
still
jumping
the-
he's gonna be jumping a shark in the next one, and it's gonna be Jaws.
You're gonna be in space. He's gonna call him like, "Want to play a game?" And you're like, "Oh my god,
Houston, this is one small step for man. What's your
Houston."
favorite scary
Yeah,
movie?
exactly. You know, it's gonna be the same as like Fast and Furious franchise. So we'll see.
They even went to space, but yeah, I mean, jumping the shark, man. But hey, as long as I guess they're making their money, right? So
Nice.
yeah. I mentioned last podcast that I was gonna watch Skinamarink, and I believe that one's on Netflix.
The heck is that? I gotta look that
Could
one
be
up.
wrong. It was like an independent company, I think, made the film, and I've heard some reviews about it as it is like terrifying. It's slow in the beginning.
Did you
It's
say
terrifying.
Skinamarink?
Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
And that might be one for you to binge next. But maybe not at night with like the lights up. Well, I mean that's the best way to watch a scary movie, but
I see it right now. Okay, horror came out 2022. At first, when I checked it, Googled it, it came up as a kids television show, and I'm like, that can't be it. So I
yeah,
found
no,
it.
they I think they changed around the letters to make it so that when kids find the one
Yeah.
or search up the one thing, they don't find the horrifying scary movie.
It's got low ratings though. I mean, but you know how the internet can be, and people with ratings, everyone who has something bad to say always gives a rating. So maybe that's why it's got low
People who
ratings.
peed their pants and had to leave the theater probably gave it a low rating because they were
Well,
upset.
it's like most reviews. Only the bad news gets through in the review. No one wants to say good things. So maybe that's what happened there.
That's possible. So
Oh.
that's the next one on my radar. I know
All right.
I've gone through a list back in our February episode. Was it our March episode? No, it was a February episode of all the upcoming horror movies and stuff like that. If you haven't heard of what's coming out, go back and check our February episode again. I'll just give a couple of the ones that stand out in my mind. Well, we're gonna have a haunt builder, a fellow haunt builder, come on to the podcast next month. So that'll be the May episode talking
Cool.
about the new Evil Dead movie because he's going to get a chance to meet Bruce Campbell. So that's going to be amazing. I looked
Really?
at the tickets for that and I thought about it. I don't know if it's sold out by now. I probably still could do it. He does like a Bruce-O-Rama, but
You're
this year,
talking about
because
Evil Dead Rise.
yeah, this year the movie's coming out too, so it's a big deal, an extra big deal this year.
Cool.
And I've seen, of course, all the original Evil Dead movies that were made to be spoofs. There was a TV show on Netflix that came out as well. That one was
Nice.
funny. And then they did have an actual scary Evil Dead movie. I want to say it was maybe 6 years ago now. I forget when that actually came out, but this one, I don't
Talking
know
about
if
like in
it's gonna be-
2013-ish. It's just called
I think
Evil
so.
Dead.
Yeah, and that one was actually made to be somewhat scary, and that one was very good. And Bruce Campbell had a hand in it, of course, Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And then this one's coming out, Evil Dead Rise, and all the trailers look super scary. So I'm about it. I'm ready to
I'm
go see
in.
that
Yeah,
one.
I'm in for that one. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And then other than that, Walking Dead is going to have a bunch of their spin-off shows coming out, including their
Tons.
already spin-off show, Fear the Walking Dead will come out for its last season, but they're doing a couple like well no, The World Beyond already came out. It's
They're
Dead
going to
City.
Yeah, they're going to space too.
Yeah, they are. They're going to space. That's true. But Dead City, I'll probably be watching that one. And then there's another Exorcist movie come out. There's two actually Exorcist movies coming out. There's a remake of Exorcist that I think comes out later in the year. And
Yo,
then
I
there's
just saw the
Pope's
preview with
Exorcist.
the Pope Exorcist. I just saw the preview for that one. I gotta warm up to that one. You got what's his name from Gladiator?
Yeah.
know,
Gosh,
so-
what's his name? And he was just in the new Thor movie too.
Yeah, help me out here. What the hell? I'm looking at it right now. I can't
What
remember
is
his name.
He plays a good Italian, I will say, because he played Zeus in Thor, in the latest Thor movie, and he's
Russell
playing the
Crowe.
Pope. Russell Crowe.
Russell-
That's
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been in some creepy or thriller type movies, and he does a pretty good job. But
I'm
it's-
interested to see him in the Pope's Exorcist. I'm interested
Yeah.
to see that.
He's playing the father, and I think he's got an Italian accent in this one too. So he does a good job.
I
That's coming
picture him
from-
sounding like Gladiator, Maximus. So we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, basically, yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I think that's everything. I have not seen anything else on the horizon.
I thought there was one more goodie. I thought there was like one more little trinket in there. I can't think
There
of it
is.
though.
I went through the whole list. You know what? I'm an idiot. I can just pull up my notes from February
Yeah.
right here and just list anything, especially stuff that's coming out right away, just so everybody gets an idea of what is on the horizon so you don't miss it. I've got as far as well, A Knock at the Cabin already came out. I think that
They're
had already.
counting that Megan movie a horror movie. I did want to see that. That's the movie about like some robotic artificial intelligence doll that like apparently goes psycho, right? Always happens.
Yeah,
I did not
have
check that
on
out. That
here.
came out earlier, or it was late 22, I guess technically.
I did have that on here. But yeah, I don't, it's not my classic idea of horror, but that could
No,
be a
yeah.
good thing too. I mean, a little bit of parody or difference in there.
Did you cover Knock at the Cabin?
Knock at the Cabin. I think why I didn't see it. And then I think it had already come out by the time I dropped the February podcast. But I do
Okay.
like Dave Bautista, and I think that was an M. Night Shyamalan one, wasn't it? So his are always kind
Yeah.
of a little oddball.
Is he still doing that cameo? He always does a cameo in every little movie.
He might. I'll have to go back and watch that one for sure because that was
Ooh,
good.
what about have you heard of Infinity Pool?
I heard of it, but I have not seen anything on
That
it.
one looks pretty gnarly, more like House of a Thousand Corpses-esque, like directing.
Ooh,
It
okay.
looks pretty, yeah, like disturbing, gnarly, like a more underground vibe to it.
I had, of course, we talked about Evil Dead Rise. That's April 21st. Renfield comes out April 14th. That's, I believe, is a series, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
series coming out? And what's his name? Nick Cage is gonna be
I'm all
Dracula.
in. Remember when we
Yeah.
saw that when we were in the theater, we saw the preview, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Then he just comes out. I'm like, yes.
He's a little bit of a weirdo, but I think it fits. It's going to fit perfectly.
Exactly.
Insidious 5, July 7th, and Saw 10, October 27th.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Saw franchise. My
Yeah,
Lord.
they're on number 10 too, just like Fast and Furious.
My Lord. That's a whole nother, I've missed out on a lot of those. I don't know about you.
Fast and Furious is about family. Saw is about family body parts.
It's about saws. No, it's about is that little doll still there? The little
I
marionette,
would think
what do you call
so.
him? The little
I'll be honest with you.
ventriloquist?
I have not seen any of the Saw movies. I know
Not
about
any?
not from start to finish. Parts, of
Not
course,
even
the classic
Uno?
parts and
Number
stuff like that.
one?
Not even Uno. I've seen
Number
parts.
one was fantastic.
I've seen
I
a
feel
lot
like
of the torture parts, which is what you watch for. So
it was fantastic.
and I know he's he gets revealed as an alien that likes to play games and stuff like that. So he's along the lines of that. So they went to space too, but they didn't jump
Yeah.
any sharks. But they
It is the final frontier. So
yes, yeah. So yeah.
oh, I'm
That's
just
true.
catching this Exorcist. I'm sorry, I'm
That's
backtracking a little bit.
October
Keep going
27th.
though. Keep going.
I actually don't have the Pope's Exorcist on here, but I do have the actual Exorcist. I don't think it's a remake. I think they're saying it's a sequel, but it's under the same title, but that's October 13th. So I'm circling Friday the 13th. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down. We're circling that one on the calendar.
I'm down.
And then that is everything I have on here, other than I have not seen it, but you've watched it from start. Well, I'll say to its finish right now, but there's going to be more coming out. The Last of Us going on to that zombie.
Oh my
thing that I
God.
talked
Don't
about Walking Dead.
even get me started on that show.
What can you say? Because I've only seen parts of the first episode, and
I'm extremely pissed off about that show. You want to know why? Because there's not more episodes.
you ran out.
I thought it was great. If you like Pascal, right? Pascal?
Yeah, Pedro Pascal. Yeah,
Pedro Pascal from Mandalorian. If you like him as an
yeah.
actor, you're obviously gonna love The Last of Us. And not only did I get to watch that show, but I was just recommended the video game, which is what the whole hit was based off of. It was a hit video game story. So I actually just played both of them and then rolled into the new show. So for me, it was like ultimate experience. Whereas most people, even if they were a gamer, they played it like 10 years ago. So they barely kind of remember it, right?
Yeah.
And then for people who obviously don't play games and don't do any of that stuff, you're still going to really enjoy it because it's just a great, intense, beautiful, horrific story. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm actually really impressed with that one. Did you get a chance to check it out yet?
I've seen part of the first episode, and I've actually played the game previously, like you have.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
I not from start to finish, but enough of the game to get the gist of it, and also I know that the show takes a couple of twists from that, which I think is very cool, kind of like what Walking Dead did. But you were telling me about all of the changes, but all the things that they stayed true to the storyline, which I think is very important, very
I
cool.
gotta say, they did at least 80 to 90%, but the changes they made, some controversial, some not, but I think they did a smash up job. And you could ask a lot of people. There's obviously always going to be those people who are like, oh, why'd they do this? Why'd they do that? And that comes with everything. But for the most part, they did a sensational job on it. And you'll see it in the episodes.
Yeah, yeah. I want to give a shout out to one of our fellow Voodoo cast and crew, Julia Trenny. We've had her on the podcast. She's been keeping everybody entertained with Facebook memes of how Pedro Pascal has been in both Mando and The Last of Us, and he
Dude,
plays like the same character where he has to be in charge of fighting off people and taking care of a child.
he is peaking all over us right now. This is his height. This is a height in his career, I gotta say. So.
You had shown me the Super Mario SNL skit that he did.
Yeah, he's all over everything, man.
Once again, trying to transport a kid. Was it Toad or was it like a Koopa? I forget.
I forget, dude. I forget. I'd have to rewatch it.
Princess Peach, but he's playing Mario.
Yeah,
and
it was like they got to find the princess or something, and it was great.
It was a twist on because both movies are coming out. That Super Mario movie, and then also because The Last of Us came out, which is so funny. He's like loading the shotgun, and he's like, "Let's go,
let's go."
Nice. I also want to give Julia a shout out. Unfortunately, I goofed and I did not put this in the March episode. It's not necessarily Halloween. Well, it is kind of Halloween related because it has to do with clowns. She takes part in the Triton Troopers Circus. They have shows March 30th and March 31st. That will have already passed by the time this episode comes out. This episode, I'm hoping to drop on April 1st. I'm praying so that we can at least squeeze it in time for her 2 shows. She has a Saturday, April 1st show at 1 p.m. and a Saturday, April 1st show at 7 p.m. So get out there. Dope. Tickets are $6, so really cheap. I'm helping out with the Friday show, and then if I have a free evening,
you can be a clown.
I already am, but
you're gonna show up and they're like, you're a clown. So get out there, bozo.
I already am. If you haven't seen the face makeup, I put it on every morning and reapply every day. But no, I'm gonna be an usher. So far, that's what they need from me. So
nice. Okay, cool.
DJ,
I'd probably be that guy that shovels the elephant shit. You gotta follow the elephant and shovel this shit.
Honestly, yeah, no, I'm just gonna be busting out my Neo Usher dance moves. DJ got it. Well, wait, was DJ got us falling in love again? Was that Neo? Did I just
it's either wrong? Usher or Neo. I can't remember.
I think
pretty sure it's Usher.
That. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully. Otherwise, I look dumb, but it's all right.
It's okay.
I don't care. But yeah, other than that, I've got nothing else. This is April, which means we are a month closer to Midwest Haunters Convention, which I hope you're coming with me, even though you weren't exactly part of Voodoo, but you were coming around to see a bunch of the stuff with us in October. So
I am there in spirit.
Come on out, man. Like let's get some tickets going. I'll be posting in our Voodoo group chat, and the whole Haunt Builders cast and crew will be there, as well as a lot of the actual professional haunted houses. So we'll get to talk to some really cool people, dress up if we want to. And I also got to get you a sweatshirt, a Voodoo sweatshirt.
I got a
cop
made
one
of those
for us. So yeah, but other than that, we're just waiting until then. I believe it's June. So another episode will drop in May leading up to it, and then our June episode will definitely be talking about it. So
you have some celebrity appearances coming up, right?
We do. We have 2 haunt builders.
No, you can't tell them. You can't tell them though.
Oh no, I could give away. I already gave away the one.
Okay.
Chad, I believe his name is Chad Stetchley. I have not met him face to face. I know he was at the Haunt Builders Shindig, but we didn't get a chance to talk. There were so many people there, it was wall to wall. But he'll be coming on to talk about his home haunt, which is Evil Dead themed, and he's the one that's going to go get a chance to meet Bruce Campbell and also go see the movie premiere. So. So I'll give away that one. I think I gave away the other one that I was supposed to have on this episode, but with going to the St. Patrick's Day haunted house and us seeing Scream will already be at the hour time limit. So I'm just going to throw his interview into the May episode.
Okay.
Also, the timing works better for him too. But I may have given it away in last episode. I'm not sure. I'll keep it under wraps now. But he's a good friend.
I've been lobbying for Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. Not sure if they're going to make it, but I'm
okay.
fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, and I'm married to Jenna Ortega. Yeah. Mhm.
You are?
We all live in a fantasy world.
No, this is real.
Yeah, no, if we could get them on, we're doing wonders. But we'll get some pretty famous personalities on, especially after we get to meet a bunch of them at Midwest Haunters Convention. That'll be a lot.
That's
of fun.
right. That's
So
right.
you have to be there to network with me or shovel
Okay.
the elephant poop.
No, this is shit. Jar.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you again, Rob, for your second appearance on here. And
Thank you.
coming
Yeah.
on, and we'll get more when we are going to more haunted houses. I don't know if we're going to make the Easter one, but I'll keep you in the loop for that. And then also definitely when we go see a bunch of the scary movies like Evil Dead and Exorcist and such.
For sure, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. All right. This has been another episode of Voodoo Podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
I get down, down, sound like killing.